I'm Nishan.
And I'm Stephanie.
And this is
ICUBED.
ICUBED stands for International,
Intercultural.
And Interracial Lifestyle, Dating, Advice.
All of that.
All that good stuff. And now, marriage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just got married 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. And it's been really, really wonderful and amazing so far.
Yes, I agree.
So this week we have an interesting topic. It's one that I feel doesn't get hit on enough, but I think it's exceptionally important for people who are trying to build a healthy relationship and who are trying to build a foundation where we give each other
the space.
Finishing each other's sentences. So Steffi actually came up with this idea, and what was your process behind kind of figuring out?
So I was thinking about our next topic for this vlog, and all I could think about was how we've learned to respect each other's space.
Sure.
Even in the tightness of our relationship. And the title that came to mind was The Space Between Us. But I think that's a movie title.
Very cute. I've never watched that movie. So
I've never watched it too. But I liked it because it talks a lot about something that I feel culturally is almost taboo, because the idea or the assumption is that once you get married, once you have a boyfriend and a girlfriend or in a relationship, that they have all the right to be inside of your life and I have all the right to be inside of their life, right?
There's a sense of entitlement there.
A sense of entitlement, yes. And it might be a cultural thing. I think that it's not talked about enough, and it's so detrimental to our health as individuals and as a couple.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so we had actually a poem written by, what's his name?
Khalil Gibran.
Khalil Gibran.
Or as they say, Khalil.
Khalil. You got a
Yeah, a little ha of that.
Did you want to read that?
Yes. So, yes, what I did for our wedding was my vows consisted of a chapter from the book The Prophet, and that chapter is called Marriage. And I'm just going to read a couple of statements that I thought were very influential when it came to space. And let there be spaces in your togetherness, and stand together yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow.
Now that spoke volumes to us.
Yes.
In our relationship, because there was a moment in time, and it was the first time that we had really spent a lot of time together.
I think we had spent 2 months. Yeah, because it was a summer break. We had spent two months together, which was pretty much the longest time we had spent together, considering that we've been long distance all this time.
Right, for over 3.5 years, and still continuing to this day. And during this time, this 2 months, obviously it was amazing. I obviously appreciated her being around, and obviously she appreciated me being around. But came a point in time where I felt like my space was actually being invaded. I felt like she was everywhere all the time, and I never got any time by myself to really kind of unwind and not have to please anyone or have to be a certain way or act a certain way. And it was during this time that I had to bring it up to her. And it wasn't difficult, but it was definitely harder.
Awkward. It was awkward.
Yeah, it was definitely awkward. And it was awkward because how do you tell someone that you love, I need space to love you? I can't love you properly if you're too close to me. Or,
yes.
In a distance.
Yes, absolutely. I have to agree. I've heard couples say that they had a difficult time at first balancing each other's space out because, you're so in love and you're so giddy about each other that you're following each other into every single room. Literally, you can't be in separate rooms. And Nishan was so kind to I think the introduction was what really helped me get over the hump, was you said, it's not that I don't love you. It's just that I need some space. And, at first it stung a little because I'm like, well, don't you love me enough to be with me all the time? And then I kind of thought about it and I came to the conclusion, wait a minute, I'm even more of an introvert than he is, and I need my space. Thing is, while I was visiting him in Arizona for 2 months, he was constantly surrounded by people, even during those hours of wrestling practice. Whereas I didn't have to go to wrestling practice, so I could get my alone time. but he didn't. And so I was completely fine and balanced out, but he was overloaded with all the people surrounding him, including me. So it was really good that he just clarified, not that I don't love you, it's just that I need some space.
And I think it's something that if we had talked about more, I think that maybe we wouldn't feel so entitled to other people's lives. And especially at this point in time, if you've been married or engaged or dating for long periods of time, like you think, well, I've been with you for such a long time. You basically owe me.
Yeah.
Like, I should be able to speak into your life when I want to. I should be able to tell you whatever I want to, whatever I want to. And I should be able to give you unsolicited advice and my opinions about everything basically all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel that maybe some couples can get in a rut by living, thinking, and acting in those ways.
That alludes to space in a long-term concept, because what we're talking about here is once you commit to someone, you might evolve into having a certain opinion and certain expectations of what that someone should become like, and what job he should have and where he should live, and then we want to shape that person according to our wishes and dreams. But if we give each other space enough, the whole idea is that we grow not in each other's shadow. If we give another healthy space, then it's all about me wanting you to fulfill your greatest potential and not my idea of your potential.
And in some ways, that fulfillment of potential, it's not that it's apart from you, but we have to grow not only as a couple, but we have to grow as individuals too. If we are able to recognize you're going to grow on your own terms, and I'm going to grow on my own terms. And in 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, next year, you're going to be different than you are today. And if I don't choose to evolve and grow in myself, then I'm going to have a hard time loving you. And I might even have a hard time with my own self, because look at her advancing. Look at her being different. Or she's so different than she used to be. Or she doesn't act the same way. And it's like, well, of course not. People grow up. People change. People mature. People think differently. Their life philosophies are different. Their attitudes change.
Yes.
It's a biological change. There's a chemical reaction and brain reactions and stuff going on.
Yeah, and people are so afraid of change. Why is that? Because change means you enter the unknown, and the unknown is uncomfortable. Interestingly enough, I feel like you and I were both very comfortable with uncomfortable situations.
Yes,
we're comfortable with newness and circumstances that suddenly end up being completely different to what we thought they would be, and I think that's honestly a superpower.
It's kind of like getting bit by a radioactive spider. It's not like you were looking for it.
Yes.
But something just bit you. And a lot of this stuff is out of our control. A lot of how we have come to understand and know these things wasn't something like, oh yeah, we just did a bunch of studying on it and now we have this great understanding.
Yeah, we lived the experience.
Yeah, we lived the experience, and it was painful and it was hurtful and it was hard. And because it was hard and painful and hurtful, we decided, well, if we can give some of this advice, or if we can give some of these thoughts to other people, maybe they may avoid some of those problems and maybe avoid some of those things that we had to experience and endure for ourselves. Not that you don't have to go through some hard stuff. You certainly will. And it doesn't matter how much advice you're given, and it doesn't matter how many people are speaking to your life, or how many people are even praying for you. You're going to go through hard stuff because that's how you grow in a relationship.
Absolutely.
And we shouldn't avoid going through hard stuff either, because...
Yes. And I think the hard stuff, some people like to project that onto other couples specifically. For example, we were often asked, well, he's doing his wrestling thing, you're going for a PhD, those are completely different realms, and, this might be a challenge if you guys want to be together, etc. And I think that in so many ways, because we're in so different realms and we strive for excellence within those realms, and we give each other space to become excellent at what we do, that is a bond. That is a strengthening bond in our relationship and our futures. And it's all about pushing you and you pushing me. And you can do more. I know you're greater than this. And it's the best motivation one can have, in my opinion.
Right. And I think a part of it is like not moving forward unless you realize that you're both moving forward up,
Yes.
right? Because I feel like there's some movement forward that looks like, hey, we're at least going forward with this. Hey, we made a choice. We love each other,
Yeah.
but we're not pushing each other to our best potential. And if you're only moving on like this horizontal plane, but you're not moving like in an ascended type of movement, then you're doing your partner a disservice.
Yeah.
I should want her to be and flourish and be whatever not whatever you want to be, but like, I mean, hey, if you want to be whatever you want to be, that's great, right? But the point being, like, I want you to fulfill your purpose. I want you to fulfill your potential.
Yes.
I want her to shine. I don't care if she outshines me, because that's not the point. If she shines, I'm shining, right? Because there's always this reflection that's going on. If she shines, I'm shining too. If I shine, she's shining. But if you try to stop her shine, or if she tries to stop my shine, then ultimately she's stopping our shine.
Beautiful.
Where were we? We were just talking about shining.
Yes.
The issue comes from this, but this person blank owes me. This person needs to do what I'm thinking. This person needs to fulfill my desires and my wishes and my needs, and they need to do all these things for me. And
that's just selfish.
That's a bit selfish.
That's just selfish.
Because I feel that there's times where if this person's like so focused on touching your needs and getting your needs fulfilled, they don't have time to work on themselves. We have to give each other the space enough to work on our own selves, like our own personal selves. Everything that she has, I will not be able to provide for her. And everything that I need in my life, she will never be able to provide for me, or not always be able to provide for me, right? And so the point being that there are some things that she needs that I can't provide. There are some things that I need that she can't provide. And if I look to her to provide those things continually, then I find myself...
You'll get disappointed.
I will find myself very, very disappointed. So we are about out of time, but we want to thank you guys, and we appreciate you so much for watching this show.
Yes, thank you for being part of our journey.
And by the way, I wanted to give a great shout out to Upper Park. Thank you for the beanie. My head is really warm. Upper Park is a apparel and clothing company up in Chico, California. They sent me a little gift box, and
Where you are from.
That's where I'm from. Yes, my hometown. I appreciate it a lot, you guys. I'm hoping that this is able to touch you guys and able to give you guys some kind of clarity in your own thoughts and your relationships. We do want to start a podcast, and we do already have a podcast started up, but until we get a little bit more communication and interaction within the YouTube circle, we're gonna hold off on that, on the longer conversations and longer topics, until we get a little bit more interaction, because then we can have it lengthened and then have just a real conversation about it.
Work it out.
Yeah, we can work it out. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye.